Cool. Okay, so the first thing on the agenda here that you put up, Ron, was the sharing slides of the Catalyst Circle. That I think you guys participated in some meetings this last week. So maybe we can start looking at that. And this will be a real good use of meeting recording too, so people can see this later.
Yeah, do you want me to try and pull those slides up, or you got it, Ray?
Yeah, let me see. I think I might be opening it right now.
See if you can do it. I got to send one more transaction, and then I'm with you guys. I got to get this done. And the wallets are goofy
to
on me.
another account.
So this isn't the whole slide base. I just pulled all the slides that were pertaining to the Catalyst Circle, just so we can run through that. Because I don't know how many SBOs really know about this besides like what Kyle posted in like the best practices and some other channels.
What?
So, yeah,
I'm getting, Ron, I'm getting, one of those Google slide, authentication request access things. How did you share that link? Is there like which accounts did you give permission to that?
You should be able to share. I mean, you're the host.
No, I mean the link for the slides that you put into the chat. When I try to open that, it wants to request access. It's not an open single link. It's like a.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Let me give you permission. I didn't know that I had that set to private. Hold on.
I'm not sure which one it was. That's you. I don't know what account you're using for that.
Let's come back to that. I'll give you permission. Let's if you can go to the Mighty Networks and then go to the SIPS group. There is a recent post made by Cardano Foundation that talks about blockchain governance. So this kind of ties in with Catalyst Circle, and the narrative that is being presented in this article or post that they made really excludes Cardano improvement proposals completely, which is that's Cardano improvement proposals is literally how you move into Vulture era where Cardano community has the ability to vote on changes that go on chain. So excluding that and pushing the narrative that voting for treasury funds of projects is not a truly decentralized blockchain governance. So I don't know if CF is completely disengaged from what blockchain governance is, or if they are trying to shift the narrative, but it's something that's very concerning to me, and I'd like to talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. If we want to do the slides, just let me know if you can maybe fix that link and just make it a.
Yeah. I'm fixing that right now. We'll come back to that though. But if you go to the Mighty Network and then go to the SIPS group, look at that last post that Robert from COSD Pool made.
Okay. Let me go look at that. All right, what do we got here? Been a lot of activity lately. A lot of new members been coming in daily. Okay, let's see here. Okay, which topic, Ron, do you have that in?
It's in groups. Go to groups and then go to SIPs. You might have to join the group.
SIPs. I'm in. Okay. There was a post yesterday with Cardano, which promoted Project Catalyst to complete provision of decentralized blockchain governance and somehow failed to mention Cardano improvement proposals at all. Since some members here have been involved with SIPs, it may be helpful to post your reactions. That's definitely a concerning concerning action. It's interesting with the SIPs. I see them coming back into the picture more now, and then this also seems to be implying that they're getting left out of the conversation.
Summary, yeah. Give everybody a summary of what happened. They understand clearly. I think Ron's cutting out. Maybe you can.
Yeah, let's see if Ron comes back in.
Um,
Following its sound,
okay.
but I don't know if I can give a good summary of it.
can you guys hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
We can
Okay.
now, yeah.
So yesterday, the Cardano Foundation posted in the Cardano Forum about blockchain governance. And this is concerning because their entire discussion about blockchain governance excludes any mention of Cardano improvement proposals, which if you go to the IOG website and the Voltaire era roadmap, that's a key piece of blockchain governance. So to exclude that is almost saying that we've achieved, they're almost like suggesting that we've achieved blockchain governance purely just through Catalyst, the project Catalyst voting for treasury funds for projects. That's one component of blockchain governance, but that's not blockchain governance entirely. So Robert Fair is the one that picked up on this, and then he posted this.
Yeah,
and,
I'm reading it. I see you, and I see your reply to him as well.
Where's the link? Can we drop the link here so we can see that?
Yeah, I'll drop the link for you. I'm going to put it into the everyone chat.
Or maybe can you share your screen? And then also
Sure,
I gave you
screen
access to those slides too, Ray. So
okay, cool. Okay. Here's the screen share. So here's the forum article, blockchain governance, what it is and why it matters. This is posted by the Cardano Foundation. Looks like it's 2 days old. And then down here we get the comment from Robert and the reply from Ron here. And the concern is that, I guess it's a question is why they left something like that out. And it doesn't mean it was intentionally left out and that it won't be used. It just wasn't mentioned, maybe.
What was the purpose of this blog post?
Huh?
What was the purpose of the Cardano blog post? Sorry, I'm looking on your screen. I'm not reading it.
Well, it's all about blockchain governance, how it works and why it matters. That was the purpose of it. And if you're going to talk about blockchain governance, how can you exclude a key component of blockchain governance, which is the Cardano improvement proposal process? That's key to blockchain governance. So if you're going to talk about that, I mean, that's a huge oversight. So, I mean, it's very likely that wasn't intentional, but
yeah,
it raises a lot of questions.
That is interesting.
Sure. Sure. Who's driving the car?
Well, you know what?
No, I get it. I mean,
here is where you kind of see that things or there's something going on. So in this part of the article here, how Cardano solves these governance problems. Cardano's governance system is called Voltaire. Voltaire will address these problems with two main components: Project Catalyst and a decentralized treasury system. These components enable community-driven decision-making, voting, and decentralized funding. So, unless one of these two is implicitly including SIPs, then yeah, SIPs being left out is not good.
And they also make the statement that with that is truly decentralized, and that's not true.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's got a point. I got to read it and see what's going on. But with everything that's going on with the Catalyst Circle, I mean, I guess that's potentially it could lead into the SIPs, and who knows? One of the community guys may have wrote this too, and it could have just been, I don't know. We got to figure out what's going on before we start banging on the CF. We got to understand what the root of the problem is, I think. But yeah, no.
Well, I don't know if there is a problem, but the questions that were raised, I think, need to be answered. That's really.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, how do we get a response? Everybody pile in, and I got to read through it and see what it really warrants. Me personally, but yeah, no, I mean, I hear what you're saying. People say stupid stuff, they got to own it.
It's interesting that they would leave out SIPs. Especially where SIPs are actually on their side. SIPs are Cardano Foundation based.
No.
Also, they also left out Catalyst Circle, which if you're going to post a
Well, that's
chain governance moving into Voltaire, I mean, why leave out Catalyst Circle if that's like one of the experiments that we're doing to lead us into blockchain governance?
They're probably, in that case, I would say, is that they're
That's another
including
question.
the Circle initiative under Project Catalyst when they include it in there.
I think things need to be more
Yeah.
explicit when it comes to what blockchain governance is.
Like, look, we'll check it out here. Final thoughts. Cardano's Voltaire, when fully deployed, will have an inclusive and sustainable governance model. Cardano's governance is more inclusive because it allows anyone to make proposals, give feedback on other proposals, and receive funding. So these proposals, I'm assuming here, they're probably talking about Catalyst, but of course that could be SIPs as well. It is also more inclusive of voting on funding proposals.
I think it's more of a clarification thing. Like, no, here's what it needs to read. We want to correct you, and then they don't dictate shit.
Exactly.
I mean,
we just
really,
need,
yes, they
need
got
clarification. That's it.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, but we got to approach it in the right way, you know. And he did that, right? I mean, that's cool. Yeah, he just
I think we approached it, and I think we approached it in the right way.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
so I'm just bringing this everyone's attention.
I
think more people, especially SPOs, should be involved in the SIP process. I think there is a small circle of people that are involved right now, and not a lot of awareness of what's really going on.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's all about awareness and feedback loops, right? So it's good that the Cause Depot guy came and you know, we've got that communication bridge. That's good.
Yeah, and Ron came in there with some good shit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron. You just jumped right in on it. So if they're reading this, then they should have information about it. Okay, here's these the slides that you were talking about here, or is this something else?
No, yeah, these are the slides. I can hardly see them just because I'm driving right now, but yeah, I can tell that's the Catalyst Circle right there.
Okay, let's take a look. Minimal functional consultations.
So
good.
So it's basically going to be a small group that gets put together, and basically go back to that. I want you guys to see this. The enemy of this was interesting because there were some comments. So go back one slide.
Yeah, hold on a second. I don't know how I can go back on this damn thing. There it is.
Okay, no worries.
The enemy of the good is better. What the hell does that mean?
That's right.
I think that's a word.
Yeah, no, basically what it was saying, let's just, you know, let's do this. Okay.
Not seek perfection.
It's just good enough. It's good enough. Yeah. And everybody was like, no, the enemy of good is perfect. You know, like better's always better. But yeah, so anyway, so it's supposed to be a very fast moving kind of initiative. And they're putting together a group. And so they want to get all these groups right here to nominate somebody or self-nominate, right? And there's going to be a council of 7 people, and that council is going to include these groups are going to be voted in town hall. Stake pool operator is going to get a representative. The Catalyst Alliance is going to get a representative, and tool makers and maintainers are going to get a representative, whatever the fuck that means. So maybe that's Martin, and maybe it's Mike Pool Tool. You see what I'm saying? I mean, so we got to, maybe they can self-nominate, but this is not a paid position. It's a pilot. I think the first pilot's 3 months.
Do they even know about it though, Kyle? Do you know if these tool makers know about this?
I hadn't told them yet. I mean, at least the ones I know. I don't know whose responsibility that is. I mean, but it's moving fast. And so anyways, if you guys want to self-nominate yourself to go sit on this circle and kind of maybe figure out, I think this is going to be a really rudimentary kind of circle where you figure out how this might work in process.
Yeah.
And then elections down the road. But right now there's going to be some really fast nominations that are due Monday. So very quickly, there's a link. Can we drop that in the Zoom chat, Ray? Oh, but let me talk about the function. So yeah. Going to be meeting twice a week, this circle. Man, I can't read these if you keep moving.
Success metrics.
Fun exits. Okay, so I don't even, yeah, they're just putting together a kind of little collaborative group, and it's going to take time. And Governance Alive is going to be teaching and educating. So there's an educational component there, and that's, I believe, kind of like a leadership decision-making kind of deal within groups like that. So I think the first group is really going to be a pilot. This
volunteer-based.
It's going to be volunteer-based, right? So there's no budget, and
facilitator, secretary,
and they're going to review it at a quarter depending on goals. So
to be honest, Kyle, I think this. Sorry. I was just going to add in there that this first pilot, I think, is more of like an election committee where they're going to go through the training on how to the next circle. And then maybe that's when like this becomes more widely known is my take.
This is moving very fast, like almost too fast.
That's exactly what I said. I said, you know what? I don't think we want anything to do with it because it's
July
going to blow back
1st.
if it's not self-contained.
This means
Yeah,
people
so
already
you
involved.
got to have nominations by Monday. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure.
No, it's July 1st.
No,
that's
let
like
it go down. It's fine.
Thursday.
Cool. I just don't.
There will be 3 elections.
It's just not enough time to get the information out. Well, the elections are on Wednesday, right? The nominations, I think they're electing Wednesday or something, or maybe it's the next week. When is it?
Fill this form to nominate yourself. Here we go. Here's the form. Candidate nomination form. I'll put this in your in the chat for everybody.
Everybody, yeah. We should probably share that too. And it's self-nomination, right, Ron?
Yeah, it's self-nomination. Of course, you can use this form to put in other people as well if you want. Nothing wrong with that.
If you guys want to go self-nominate yourself, do that. I think that, we want to talk about kind of what else do we need to inform? We got to inform the timeline because it is fast. And that was my concern, to where it's way too fast. Let's just let everybody know what they're dealing with. So if you want to nominate yourself, what's the campaign timeline, Ron? Do we know?
It ends fast. There is no timeline. It's just it's all ASAP with this thing. Last link is self-nomination form. Okay.
So if one of you guys want to go and do that, that would be cool. Nominate yourselves. If you know somebody who would want to, who you think has good visibility and you think would
how many SPOs are they choosing?
It's just one, man. That group you saw is one person from each group. The one's town hall is voting on it. Yeah, and I told him SPOs are like, it's not, you shouldn't just classify us as a group because we all do other things. One was from the proposers, so technically, I could be a proposer and you could be an SPO or vice versa, right? So it's that. And then there was another one that was from the Catalyst, or the advisors, the community advisors, the guys that review the Catalyst proposals. And then there's one from CF, which is CF nominated. There's one from IOG. I
Tool
forgot the
makers
other
are
ones,
all
but
going
it's
to
on
be
that-
basically
that-
SPOs as well.
I get it. It's tool makers. It's so I mean, is that how we approach it? But I mean, I don't know.
You can nominate other people, by the way. The form is set up to nominate
Oh, can
yourself
you?
or others. Yeah, you see, is the screen still sharing?
Yeah.
You see here, use this form to nominate yourself or another person to serve. What is your name in case we need? What group are you putting yourself into? And I want to
Excellent.
nominate myself.
Perfect.
I think, from a SPOCRA perspective, what I would say is that if we can get as many people to fill out this form and nominate someone, so we have more of one person in the pool and have more of a chance at getting that, that might be a better idea instead of just everybody throwing out different names. I don't know if they're going to weigh on the number of votes per name or if there's going to be some other sort of internal, I like this person, I don't like this person kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know how they do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever.
So your stance on it is like, this is moving too fast. Who cares? Let's just watch it happen. Don't get involved.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, I think if anybody has the time and wants to go see what's up, and I think Dora wants to do this, but I think from a community perspective, it's like to take it serious. If this is anything really big, that's widely publicized, people are going to complain because it went too fast. So in that regard, I have to think that this is something that they're just piloting real small. That's why we shared it privately. We're not blasting it everywhere. I don't think we need a whole lot of people to come to this, but if there's some people who want to go and check it out, that's fine. Let's just let everybody know. But yeah, man, if this is going to be like a serious foundation for decision making, and all I'm saying is I don't know. I think there's more to it. We'll talk about it on board.
I think if the circle idea, this experiment actually works, I see a lot of circles being created over time where there's not just one circle that has like a controlling central decision point. It's going to be collectively a whole bunch of circles where like everyone has like their representatives that they want to go to their circles, because not like you can't have like every single voice in an ecosystem being represented. Like it just doesn't work. So like you have to have these circles where like there can be like really small circles like in communities where like I don't know, like geographically there's just not a lot of people that are in the Cardano community in that area or something, but then there can be really large ones like the Catalyst community where like they have their representation and then they're all happy with that. So like that's how I kind of see these circles like expanding over time, and then they're going to be like interlinked circles that all collectively come to consent on decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, we just got to go and learn, and either we get something good out of it or we learn from it and we get to something good, right?
100%, Al.
It's that cellular piece again, right? All the different cells that are coming together for common function. And I think for me, one of the things that makes this more fun and more achievable is the fact that the community overall, I feel, has a strong pointed vision of what it is that the project itself is trying to accomplish. And so I think as long as each cell understands that central DNA, I guess you can say, that that authoritative vision of what is it that your cellular function and component is contributing to the success and manifestation of the project's vision. And so to be truly representative, you're going to need a lot of cells to represent the ground and up from there. And each cell will be responsible for refining and coming up with the gist. It's almost like gold mining, right? sitting in the river there, racking all those rocks down until you get to that one little gold nugget. That little gold nugget gets passed on to the next. And it gets more and more refined as it moves along. And eventually it's presented, right? And it becomes fact. It becomes part of our life, of our ecosystem. That's the way I see all this, and that's the way I hope it goes. I think that's the most organic and representative of nature, right? That's the master. That's the teacher. What nature's doing, can we do it here? So that's my take on it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And the beauty in all of this is that it's up to us. We are Cardano. So it's how much are we going to get engaged in this and take ownership of this whole process? That's what it comes down to. So I think starting out small like this is by design. I think it's smart, and just the fact that like you got to start somewhere, and if you blow it out of the water to begin with, like it can just fail like right out the gate. So start small with like trusted circles of people that are already engaged, and build it out from there. I think is the approach.
Yeah. It's the way to go. I feel, I feel pretty confident that this circle, I see one of the biggest problems in the evolution and development of community is what we're seeing with Bitcoin. Let's say, use them as an example. We have a really strong sort of pioneering, a beautiful committed community that started out, more than 10 years ago. And we're getting together and really focused on making something happen in the world. And, we've seen a lot of success from that community in terms of that initial vision and the proof of concept for a store of value, right? First generation tech. Now what we're also seeing is a community that is so heavily invested that it's trying to keep itself alive instead of continuing the promotion and evolution of the technology and the way that it best serves the larger, greater, right? And so I think that's the one thing about any cell is knowing when to die, knowing when it's no longer providing value, it's no longer part of the evolutionary path that needs to happen for the vision to manifest. As long as the vision is always clear and you're always climbing the mountain towards it, then you know when to say, okay, this unit is no longer necessary. We can put our energy into another unit.
Isn't that the paradox, Ray, that you said like the cell has to die? Like the cell by its very nature is going to try to sustain itself by any means necessary, but it's necessary for the organism to know when that cell needs to die, right? I think that's what we're doing. That's like. Go ahead. All right, I gotta park. I gotta get going, guys. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
You want to look at it, guys? You could be a friggin' ninja kick from left field. I get you, man. But yeah, I mean, we've got to adapt. The analogy is what it is. We've got to recognize. We've got to react. We've got to adapt. And it came. I was in a Catalyst Alliance meeting earlier today. I attended that, and what it really was, the big thing was communication. We need to communicate, right? The organs of the system have to communicate, because then if we understand there's a problem collectively, we can react collectively. And when we react collectively, that's when we can really, that's really what the heart of the system is, and that's there's no enemy, I think, or outside force. Enemy is a strong word in most cases, but not all cases, right? But we'll be able to address it, but it comes down to communication. Communication. How do we respond? And it was a good talk, and I think Felix recorded a lot of it. So if he ends up publishing it, I think we should all take a look at it. But anyways, are we sticking on your agenda, Ron? Sorry.
Yeah, we actually are. we're a little tangent.
Cool. Cool.
Get some good feedback. What tools would be most beneficial for getting needed changes? Does everyone use? Okay, so yeah, we're just closing up the topic on the Catalyst Circle.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else we want to say about it? I would just say, yeah, go fill out the form, nominate somebody, nominate yourself. If you're in all the areas, nominate yourself multiple times. You know, I didn't necessarily like how they limited SPOs, because SPOs is everybody does something, or a lot of people do multiple roles, I guess is the way to put it.
You know what I find interesting? You see the screen here. So in this part of the form, you can provide a written statement or you can provide a video statement, which I think is probably more powerful. You do it quick and succinct and make an impression. If I do this, I'll definitely do a video statement for sure.
For what?
So the statement of why me or why this other person, it can be written, video, or both.
Hey Ray, we only see your file explorer.
Oh, you only see a file explorer?
Yeah, your file explorer when you're from your desktop.
Okay,
or a different monitor.
Sorry, I moved things around. I didn't even realize it. Okay. Oh yeah, I see what you guys are seeing. You're seeing the window behind. Okay, there you go. You should be able to see it now. You see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the nomination form here. What to do. It's a little bit of work if you want to do the video, but I think that's it's going to make the most impact probably. If you want to, you're going to have to be memorable. Because there's a lot of people. Might want to put in some goof in the front just to get their attention, and then get serious after. So yeah, we'll see what that says. Okay.
Great. And then on the other topics, you know, Ron, I think we can talk about a lot of that in board, to be honest. But let me see what makes sense to talk about.
Ron's not on the call anyway, by the way. He powed out.
Okay, so let's just skip the SPO tools part. I guess what we can talk about there, is there anything you guys think you need? And if there is, let us know. Just write it down. Anything that's making your job hard or whatever.
Yeah, that question's for you, John.
Yeah, my problem is the 9-to-5 day job is taking way too much of my time, which I don't think you're going to be able to
help with. There's one thing I can say about that. Can offer some consultation. So this is all just, you know, this is a different perspective. So what this is about is, where does the energy come from, right? You know, if we have a job that's taking up most of our time, and maybe you also have family that takes another chunk, and we have sleep, what do we have left for that drive up the mountain of where we want to be, right? How do we make a step on that every day? And what I found is that there's a few key things that help to establish the extra, right, without getting into an adrenalized state. Right? A lot of what people do when they get to extra is they get there with a bunch of, you know, energy drinks and all kinds of crazy shit, and they're making sacrifices. They're stressing the body to make gains, and sometimes you got to do that. And of course, you know, sleep deprivation is a form of stress in itself. That's necessary sometimes. What I have found is that having something every day, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, something that you do every day that brings all of your attention to yourself with your eyes closed and brings you into your body, something, a breath meditation, anything that lets you really get centered on yourself and your mind is completely quiet. Thoughts are coming in, push them aside. They don't need to be there for those 5 or 10 minutes. This is a sanctuary. This is a time just for you, number one. Number two is hydration. Hydrate the fuck out of yourself. And that's going to mean that you're taking pisses more often. But what happens is the energy that the body is creating is actually coming from water momentum. So if you have water and a lot of it and you're well hydrated, you actually are going to have more energy. Very natural, it's very clean, it's very clear. So those two things just by themselves make a huge difference. And then the rest of it is just the commitment, right? Saying, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to let any excuses get in the way. It doesn't matter. Unless I'm in an ambulance on the way to the hospital, or someone I love is in an ambulance on the way to the hospital, there's nothing getting in the way of me and this thing happening. So those three things will cut into your, those little chunks that you have, that you have to give this. And, over time, those chunks start to expand, right? And then you get to a balancing point where it's like, okay, the 9 to 5 is good. And I just doubled it. I'm already getting 9 to 5 income with the time that I've put into the Cardano ecosystem. So at some point I can start to think about an exit strategy for my 9 to 5 job, and then the transition from there, so it starts with, the 20 minutes we have on the toilet sometimes, all the way out to whatever it is we have every day that we can give this. It has to be set aside, and it has to be very deliberate. Otherwise, there's always something that's going to come and take it from you. There's always some other priority that's waiting at the door saying, me too, me too, me too. So you have to choose which ones that you go with.
Yeah, good advice. Good advice. I'm trying to set aside time every day, at least a little bit. Focus on things that make you happy, right?
Yeah. That's it. It does make a difference. It really depends on what it is you're doing. If you're building following, if you're building stake, if you're building contacts, if you're building code, products, or all the above. A lot of stake pool operators like Kyle doing all the above and then some. So it's an all of the above kind of deal. And it's a real passionate war against time. And it's just like,
yeah,
let's fucking go. You just rip through it as much as you can, but you just have to remember that you're also a machine, and it needs to be well lubricated and taken care of. Otherwise, it runs into walls. It needs to disappear for a while and go to places where there's no cell phone signals and shit. Right? Or the water's cold as hell, and your spirit pops out.
Real quick, Ray, I want to talk about the community award stuff, the live stream we're going to try and do Wednesday. We're going to try and throw together a cool community award thing where, we want to pick a whole bunch of people. You guys throw in nominations and who you guys think out there doing something cool. It doesn't have to be something built necessarily, but anybody that's busting ass for the community and bleeding for this, let's do something dope for them. And so we're going to mint some custom NFTs, and Adam and I agreed to, we're going to mint some space coins, a significant amount, and distribute it among, a good amount of people. So if you know anybody well-deserving in the community that could use a little recognition, let's do that. And then let's kind of up the morale a little bit. But I got to drop off, and I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that idea. What do you think of that, John?
That's great. Sounds good. Sounds fun.
It sounds fun. We need fun. We didn't mention it yet. I'm going to drop out of this share. We didn't mention it yet, but when I listened in on the SBO call this past Thursday, and when they made the announcement in the call that they were going to be taking the zero reward, element out of the Daedalus wallet. And they didn't mention names, but they said, considerable community feedback, which, I know we were a big part of that live stream, which now just around 500 views. There was a lot of discussion and comments on that. And I know that Ben from ILG was there inside of that live stream and was very appreciative of the work that we did there. So I'm sure that we made an impact and influence, which is what our job is. Right? The community says this doesn't work for us. We're losing business. This is bad for us. Help us, please. can you do something about it? Okay, we're going to do something about it. We're taking it out, and we're also going to build a different ranking system and put those features into a light wallet. So that was really good news. We saw that as a victory for what we're doing here with SPOCRA.
Yeah, I think it's good in sort of all aspects. It's good in the fact that they were open and listened to the feedback, right? And actually acted on that feedback. And it's also good that the community was able to sort of come together and sort of say, hey, we all have this combined issue that we need to be addressed because it's, you know, causing significant issue. And it was just flat wrong, right? So but I think it was great for sort of community driven effort, showing that we actually can come together and sort of have our voice heard. And it actually was, you know, heard, which is great. So
yeah, definitely, it works. It's interesting, you know. It's sort of, and a lot of it I think has to do with who is in the, just who's consistently, projecting that voice out there, either as a trade association like SPOCRA or as individuals, and both. And especially when those individuals are also in these kinds of groups, it multiplies the influence factor, I think. And, at the end of the day, it's really just, again, there's so many battles, right? It's time freedom. And how much of it do we have? And how do we prioritize, right?
yeah.
I think that, what I'm trying to do also is not only translate profits to a greater good through the pool work and the charity, but also take the success from the pool and translate it to volunteer, right? To pushing the mission of the entire ecosystem forward as much as possible. So that's why I'm still here. We have a board meeting here in a couple minutes. We're going to be discussing our CEO role and what they're responsible for, and getting that well outlined and bullet points. It's going to go into our operating agreement for the legal entity of SPOCRA, and it will, I believe, also be a paid position too. So that's what we're going to be deliberating here over the next hour, probably actually over the next couple of weeks. We're going to get all that fine tuned and stuff. So we'll probably bring some of that out in the next public meeting. I do have. Were you here last week?
I believe so.
Do you remember seeing the SPOCRA video? Did you already see that?
Oh yeah, that was great. That was really well edited, actually. So.
It's gotten a little better.
Oh, yeah?
we're on the 8th draft, and she left out a few cuts from Kyle, but it's almost done.
Nice.
There's so much there. There's so much more I would like to do with the animations, and even with the SPOCRA logo itself. It's such a this logo has. It's kind of a cool thing. It'd be neat to see it like sort of materialize, from these other elements. So that's the kind of stuff. And of course, I still want to do videos for other pools, right? Yeah. I want to help other pools in the mission-driven pool group and around. The Grow has been helping me do these videos. Jamie from Think and Grow Crypto, 21ADA is her pool. She's been instrumental in my own Grow pool marketing. In the beginning, she helped a lot with the videos, and she was the editor for most of this video. I provided the content for her and the sequencing, and I told her, what order to do things and what pieces to use, but she's doing the animation effects and the pop outs and all those fun little transitions and everything that you see in there. Including some of the animation stuff she pulled in there. So I kind of want to play it if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see. Okay, so what this is very close to finish. I went in myself and cut pieces of Kyle out. So, but I did it with her draft, which means the music is probably going to be a little weird around that point. But this is much closer. Let me get this opening. Okay, gonna do a share. Screen 3, share sound. Okay, can you see the black screen?
Yep.
Make sure that the audio is all the way up.
What we do as scientists and engineers is we worry about the technology and we worry about the science. But then there's also this business of staking where it has to be profitable. And there's a business ecosystem that needs to be built out. Okay, so for the business of staking, the stake pool operators need to work with us, the foundation, and other actors, and we need to start thinking about unifying standards and lobbying for what SPOs need. Okay, so a natural evolution from where we are at here, where do we go from here, are things like a trade guild, where basically groups of SPOs, they band together to create standards, collectively bargain, think about things. Every single endeavor in life has a trade association.
So welcome. We've just been discussing the whirlwind that has been the last 24 hours and all of the work that we've got accomplished on SPOCRA is what we're calling it. Temporarily.
You got to take me through this acronym.
All right, Kyle, that's all you.
Stake pool operators representation. No, what the hell is it?
It's perfect.
Okay, stake pool operator collective representation assembly. There you
There
go.
we go. SPOCRA.
SPOCRA.
You got Spock with Ra. You need to get like a Vulcan with the old Egyptian god, right?
So SPOCRA is the Stake Pool Operator Collective Representation Assembly. So it's quite a mouthful. SPOCRA has been born out of necessity and is committed to being a voice for all stake pool operators that want to contribute and benefit from participating in the Cardano ecosystem.
Why do you think SPOCRA should exist, and what do you think your role in helping it succeed if you got onto the board?
So I think SPOCRA could be the platform which we actually, one of the points which we can help our stake pool operators is, to become better ones and basically secure the network, because this is also not on, on individual, it depends on all the stake pool operators.
The impetus for this came, I think, from an announcement that Charles made around the need for a decentralized community like Cardano to have a trade association for stake pool operators. Is there a channel for us to express the concerns of large and small stake pool operators? What influence can we have ultimately on maintaining the equilibrium and integrity of what is really the backbone of this blockchain?
After maybe 12 hours later, after the SPOCRA Discord came to being, I quickly jumped in and just went to like the beginning of the messages, and I just saw there was like so much activity and all these ideas just coming together, and I was just like, wow, this is awesome. I want to be a part of this.
And it's also a way for us to be able to present some of the ideas or some of the recommendations that we have together as one. So it will be like one single voice for the whole stake pool operators to be able to represent somebody from this part of the world, which Cardano is actually being built for.
There is a strong need to establish quality communication channels with the ecosystem partners. We don't all have to be on the same page, but if we can provide granular visibility to ecosystem stakeholders, that in itself will provide value as well. Because at some point, we have to think of what we're doing is we're governing a protocol as a community. And so that can create a dangerous landscape if we don't have the ability to educate. The community needs to do anyways. We've got to establish that infrastructure so we can outvote, or at least influence outvoting things that are best for the protocol.
What are your current thoughts about SPOCRA? I'm staying out of SPOCRA. My only position about SPOCRA is I think it's a good idea for dedicated representation to form for stake pool operators. And my belief is more is better. So there will be diversity, geographic and leadership philosophy, and there's going to be differences of opinion. And what I need is great partners to work with to have discussions about the economic parameters of the system once the system reaches full stability, so that we can get a better feedback loop on getting those parameters where they need to go for the system to be stable. So I'm glad to see SPOCRA form. I'm glad to see the innovation there, and I hope more will happen.
All right.
Nice.
How was that, John?
Nice.
What do you think? Yeah.
Looks good. Looks good.
Feels good. Doesn't feel too long.
Nah.
It's always that, you know how these days, anything more than 2 minutes and 20 seconds is too long. But there was just too much there's just, the backstory and being able to kind of connect. What I liked about this video is interesting. I didn't really get the feel until I saw it this time here. There's something that is, there's this kind of like urgency that's in there, but also this tempered sort of peaceful vastness, especially when you see like the continent of Africa rolling over the globe. And, you get this sense that there's this really big space and this coming together of something very beautiful in that space. Right, there's mystery that's moving towards something. That's the sense I got from it.
The music is a great fit for it as well.
Yeah,
whoever chose that was great.
Yeah, that was Jamie's choice. 21 Ada, Think and Grow.
Nice.
Yeah, we did the credits at the end, which is nice. Shout out to those people who have been a part of this and been helping push it along. And make sure that the people know where the first mainnet voting happened. So know what we're capable of.
Did I just miss the showing?
Yeah, you just came in at the very end of it. I'll show it to you in the main in our board. But yeah, we're just wrapping up this, and John hung out. Kyle's gonna be joining us later. So thanks, John. Do you have any other questions, concerns, needs, wants?
Nope. Good for this week. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you, John.
All right.
You can always join us on our Wednesday live stream as well.
Sounds good.
All right. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Yo, Ron. So are we going to switch to the board meeting thing?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in that right now.
Okay, cool. Are you going to host or should I host?
Oh, no, you're going to have to host that. I'm on,
okay.
You're the hostess with the mostest today, dude.
Hostess with the mostest. All right, I'll do it. Shoot.